Hello student, this is Shikha. Today I am going to speak on the topic fundamental rights. This is very important topic and it is in part 3 of our constitution. It is article 12 to 35. If I ask what is fundamental rights, you have to say this is part 3. What is fundamental rights? You have to say article 12 to 35. And what is part 3 and what is article 12 to 35? We can say it is Magna Carta of Constitution. In our constitution, if our constitution talks about fundamental rights, so we can say this is Magna Carta of Constitution. Means हमारे constitution में जब भी fundamental rights पर बात होती है तो we can say this is Magna Carta of Constitution. Students, do you know fundamental rights borrowed from which country? Fundamental rights borrowed from USA. Now I'll tell you on the background of fundamental rights. The background of fundamental right is in 1931 there was a INC session in Karachi and who was the president of this session? So President Vallabhbhai Patel.
जरा मस्त व्हायचे का अभी दोबारा.
Hello student, this is Shikha. Today I am going to speak on fundamental rights. So fundamental rights is very important topic. It is in part 3 of our constitution. It is article 12 to 35. If I ask what is fundamental rights, you have to say this is part 3. What is fundamental rights? This is article 12 to 35. And what is part 3 and what is article 12 to 35? It is Magna Carta of Constitution. If our constitution talks on fundamental rights, we can say this is Magna Carta of Constitution. Means अगर हमारा constitution fundamental rights पर बात करता है तो हम कह सकते हैं कि ये Magna Carta of Constitution है. Students, do you know fundamental rights borrowed from which country? Fundamental rights borrowed from US. Now I'll tell you about the background of fundamental rights. The background of fundamental right is in 1931 there was a INC session in Karachi, and who was the president of this session? So President Vallabhbhai Patel was the president of this session, and he talked on the topic of fundamental rights. And in this session, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru drafted this fundamental rights. Thank you. Students, today I told you about the background of fundamental rights. Tomorrow I'll tell you about the fundamental rights in detail. Thank you. Hello students, this is Shikha. In last video I told you about the background of fundamental rights. Today I am going to speak on fundamental rights. Now our constitution was drafted. It has 7 fundamental rights, but now it has 6 fundamental rights. Students, do you know which fundamental right was deleted from our constitution? It is right to property, and it deleted according to the 44th Amendment 1978. Now it is legal right, not fundamental right. Means अब हमें property खरीदने का legal right है. But in Jammu Kashmir it is fundamental rights. We can say that in Jammu Kashmir there are 7 fundamental rights, but rest of states of India have 6 fundamental rights. Now I am going to tell you about all fundamental rights. First is right to equality, and it is in the article 14 to 18. Second, right to freedom, and it is in the article 19 to 22. Third, right against exploitation, and it is in the article 23 to 24. Fourth, right to freedom of religion. It is in the article 25 to 28. Fifth, cultural and educational rights, and it is in the article 29 to 30. Last and sixth, right to constitutional remedies, and it is in the article 32. These are all 6 fundamental rights, and in next video I'll tell you about all fundamental rights one by one. Thank you. Hello student, this is Shikha. Today I am going to speak on the topic fundamental rights. This is very important topic. It is in part 3 in our constitution. It is article 12 to 35. If I ask what is fundamental right? So fundamental right is part 3. What is fundamental right? Fundamental right is article 12 to 35. And if our constitution talks on fundamental rights, we can say this is Magna Carta of Constitution. अगर हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में जब कभी फंडामेंटल राइट्स पर बात होती है तो वी कैन से दिस इज मैग्ना कार्टा ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. स्टूडेंट्स, डू यू नो फ्रॉम विच कंट्री वी borrowed fundamental rights? So we borrowed fundamental rights from US. Now the background of this fundamental right is in 1931 there was a INC session in Karachi. And who was the president of this session? So President Vallabhbhai Patel was the president of this session, and he talked in this session on fundamental rights. Students, do you know who drafted fundamental right in this session? So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru drafted fundamental rights. Students, today I told you the background of fundamental rights. Tomorrow I will tell you about fundamental rights in detail. Thank you. Hello students, this is Shikha. Today I am going to speak on the topic of fundamental rights. This is very important topic and it is in part 3 in our constitution. It is article 12 to 35. If I ask what is fundamental right, it is part 3. What is fundamental right? It is article 12 to 35. And what is part 3 and what is article 12 to 35? It is Magna Carta of Constitution. If our constitution talks on fundamental rights, so we can say this is Magna Carta of Constitution. Means हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में जब भी कोई भी फंडामेंटल राइट्स पर बात होती है तो वी कैन से दिस इज मैग्ना कार्टा ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. Students, do you know fundamental rights borrowed from which country? So fundamental rights borrowed from USA. Now I'll tell you about on the background of our fundamental rights. So background of fundamental right is in 1931 there was a INC session in Karachi. In this session, who was the president of this session? So Vallabhbhai Patel was the president of this session and he talked on fundamental rights in this session. And do you know who drafted fundamental rights? So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru drafted fundamental rights. Today I told you about the background of fundamental rights. Tomorrow I will tell you in detail fundamental rights. Thank you.